Hello everybody, welcome back to Cinema Savvy. It is myself, George, bringing you a brand new review, and today I'm going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine, which at the time of going up is just been released in cinemas like in the last couple of minutes in the UK, is out in cinemas in America later on, and of course the rest of the world. And I'm going to be giving my spoiler-free thoughts on the film, having of course seen it at the press screening tonight. I've been very lucky to attend that screening alongside some great friends of the channel. Tate was also there as well, and I am going to jump in and say, whilst this review is spoiler free, there will be a spoiler discussion coming at some point in the weekend. We are also working behind the scenes on a very big X-Men ranking video. It's going to be a top 10 in the same style we've done top 10 rankings before. We've also got the first episode of our brand new series, the Mount Rushmore of, where me and Aaron talked about the Mount Rushmore of X-Men films. So there's a lot of X-Men stuff happening on the channel at the moment, and it has all been building up to this film. A film that many people didn't think would ever happen. Would we get Deadpool into Disney? Would Hugh Jackman ever come back now the MCU could be a thing? This film answers those questions and a lot more. So I do want to hear from you in the comments, so please do comment your thoughts. If you've seen the film, if you're planning on watching the film, please do not comment any spoilers. I will delete them if you do, but I do want to hear your thoughts on it. And as I said, there is going to be a spoiler discussion, so all your thoughts, whether positive, negative, things you want to talk about, things that shocked you, give us a couple of days, join us live as we go through that. But kind of also announcing some other stuff. Obviously, go get us on social medias. We've got a lot of TV at the moment, and there's a lot of other things we're going to work on behind the scenes. So if you want to find out about new videos, you can get us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, all under linktree.com/cinemasavvy. But as I said, I'm here to talk about this film. And I know that Sean will be directing it, which is something I'm going to talk about quite a bit as well, because it's been a very interesting reaction to this. There's been some polarised reactions. I know the press screening happened in America on Monday, the embargo lifted last night. Of course, the premiere has been and gone, and I imagine social media is just ransacked of spoilers, people taking photos from screenings. And I'm going to say, if you want to know nothing about this film, don't finish this video, stay offline. There will be thumbnails, there'll be photos of actors, there'll be photos of characters, there'll be descriptions, there'll be those usual dreadful tweets. So if you want to go into this clean, if you want to know as little as you can about what's been released, even Marvel spoiled a reveal last week of a character who I'll keep nameless, but really, past this point, it is completely on you, but I'm not going to spoil anything. And I'm going to try and talk about the story, because the logic of bringing back Wolverine is something I have gone on record saying many times I'm not sure about. I've not been the biggest fan of the first two Deadpool films. I did rewatch the first Deadpool film today and enjoyed it a lot more than the last time I saw it. But I have been excited for this, and obviously as someone that grew up seeing Wolverine, seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine across decades with so many individual films, team-up films, you name it, he's been the character. Deadpool coming into it, it was a team-up that needed to happen, so I was really excited as it's come into the final few days of this coming out, the more videos we've been talking about, discussing. I've been rewatching X-Men films as well. There's been some real buzz and excitement from me, and I know a lot of people have felt that for a very long time. We're getting Wolverine finally in the yellow costume. We're getting Ryan Reynolds back under the Disney umbrella. We're seeing them together. What are they going to do? And I have to say, to me, it absolutely delivered with that. I don't know if this film's going to be for everyone. I don't think it'll be polarising, but what I can kind of say with this is that I came out with a massive smile on my face. It's a film I laughed at a great many times. The audience there today was probably the liveliest press screening I've been to. At some moments, there were people doing like standing ovations and shouting, which I've never seen at a press screening. It felt very American. And at moments, you are lost within that. And this film does a phenomenal job at bringing you in as an audience member, whether you're maybe new, whether you've seen a few of these films, whether you've seen all of these films. I feel like there's something here for you. The action, the choreography of the stunts, what you'd expect from a Deadpool film, and kind of subverting some expectations that if you thought Deadpool was going to be different under the Disney roof, no, they're still going to poke a lot of holes at it, even at the MCU, even at actors within the MCU. It goes on the limit, and that's obviously what Deadpool has always been about, pushing it to the limit. What can he get away with saying, what can't he get away with saying, making fun of? And they really did deliver with that. It's not just rated R for the sake of being rated R. It stays true to the character of Deadpool. And I didn't know if we would get that on a film like this, and if Hugh Jackman would be involved in that. But half of his dialogue is probably swear words, which is great. It's something people have wanted. You can tell he's having an absolute blast in this. You know what you're going to get with Ryan Reynolds. Of course, we all know he literally is Deadpool outside of it. You're going to get references to a load of other things, but it's Hugh Jackman really that's the selling point for me. I think he's the selling point for a lot of people. And I've got to say, it feels like he's never left. And he's very not open within this role. It's not a case of here's the X-Men continuity, here's a new X-Men continuity, or here's this. Hugh Jackman's given it his all physically, as he always does with these. He looks absolutely unbelievable. How he does the fight sequences looked absolutely great in this. His chemistry with Ryan Reynolds, but also we do get to explore that emotional side of him once more, and it's really interesting how this film does it. I can't really talk about it too much without getting into spoilers, because again, I don't know what's been marketed and what hasn't been marketed, but you actually do get a lot of character development, which I didn't think we'd get in this film. And I am going to say, this film is quite messy, and I don't mean that as a criticism. To me, it weirdly worked that it knows what it is, it knows what it's trying to do, it knows what it's successfully doing. It's not trying to paint it as a perfect photo for something else, it's self-aware. And I think that goes a long way with a film like this, that if the film understands its audience, the audience understands the film. They're not trying to be smarter than them, they're not trying to dress it up as something else. The title is Deadpool and Wolverine, and that's what this film is. Yes, there's a very weak villain with, well, multiple weak villains, but Emma Corrin's obviously playing the lead villain of this. You'd have seen her in some of the marketing. I didn't connect with any of that, but I don't think you're meant to. I think you just meant to want to watch Wolverine and Deadpool team up, and that's kind of what they do. And I don't want to say there's not much more to it. There's a great many things to it. For a start, the soundtrack is incredible. The needle drops are some of the best I've seen in a film this year. I know the first films did that a lot, and for whatever reason, this one seems to have nailed it. It feels like they're in the same wavelength, and I've really got to say something I didn't see coming. This film, you'd expect, oh, Deadpool's going to mock Fox, Fox has died, blah, 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 marketing, we've seen it. The film sort of functions so far opposite to that. The film's really more of a love letter and a reflection of the Fox era, which I found quite touching. Like, yes, they didn't all work out, did they? There's been many terrible films, there's been many great films, but what this does, it shines the spotlight on the Fox era more so than the MCU, more so than Sony or anyone else that's had rights to Marvel. The film feels like the finale to Fox's X-Men whilst being part of the MCU, and I think that's actually somewhat more difficult to do than I thought, and I've got to give them props for that. Obviously there's a lot of cameos. I'm not going to talk about them for obvious reasons, and as I said, avoid a lot of things online. And like you would think with cameos like this, it's going to be people you maybe expected, maybe didn't expect. Thanks to Disney for ruining one last week. I was completely shell-shocked when a couple of them happened at varying points in the film, and I think audience reactions, as much as I normally don't like that, it was very cool to be a part of that. And it felt so different to No Way Home, because we always knew there were going to be the three Spider-Man. It was a when, not if. This film is if. Who could turn up? Who might turn up? What role can they play in this? And I think you'll be surprised at what they do with that. And when they selectively choose these types of characters to pop up, it works very well, and it's something I really, really enjoyed. And as I said, with Deadpool itself, the character, it might be for you, it might not be for you, but for me this worked wonders. It's the perfect bridge between Fox and Disney. It gives them time to think about what they want to do with, I mean, I know Kevin Feige says he's got a plan, but if they're still planning what they want to do with the mutant side of things, they've just massively opened the door for multiverses, for other characters, for other actors, for story beats, all this sorts of stuff. It works as both a finale to the Fox franchise, it works as a MCU film, and also you don't have to have watched everything. They're making jokes about the current state of the MCU, which I didn't think they would do, and again, you just have to hand it to them. They nailed it. I didn't think they would. I didn't really know what to expect. I was very worried about Hugh Jackman returning, not for his ability as Wolverine, but can you justify bringing him back? And I think for me, the film does that. And not only does the film do that, the film benefits for it, the film works. If that didn't work, the film can't work, and I'd be absolutely seething doing a video on it. So I'm delighted to say, yes, go see this at the cinema. I think everyone's going to see it at the cinema. It's going to be absolutely massive. The marketing is everywhere. It's probably, I mean, it's not going to outgross Inside Out, but it's probably going to be the biggest event film of the year. Like, all I can think of is this. I can think of Dune, and there's a third one escaping my mind to come out at the end of the year, but it's not been a big year for the event films, and this feels like it. It feels like the build-up to No Way Home. There's this excitement that you can feel it in the room of people in the cinema, and I don't talk about that side of things often, but I'd imagine the screenings are going to be chaotic. There's going to be a lot of people, and I think that's a good thing. The cinemas need it. It was great to be a part of it. I do want to see this film again. It's passed the 2 film tests for me. Recently, I've not wanted to watch a lot of films again I've seen, especially at the cinema, but I will be going to see this again at the cinema. I don't know when yet, but it's a film I do want to see more of. I'm very curious to see how it holds up on a repeat viewing, and that might help think about it. I'm coming fresh off the hype from having a great evening out watching it. Could that change in 6 hours? Maybe. Could that change in 6 days? Maybe. Who knows? Could change in 6 years. So it's one of them that I really want to have some multiple viewings. But as an overall, heading into the furthest review, do I recommend it? Yes. But as I said, it's not a perfect film. It's not the best film ever made. But if you're wanting to watch the film that is Deadpool and Wolverine, you want to see these characters on the big screen, teaming up, fighting one another, the stuff we've all wanted for years, in rated R, with blood, with violence, with proper action. It's some of the best physical things we've seen from Hugh Jackman, and the fact we can set 20 years on is remarkable. Obviously, it's not going to have the story beats of a film such as Logan, but it does a very good way in handling what I thought was unthinkable to try and bring him back. And that's why I think it might not be for everybody that agrees with that. And I said I'm going to be curious now to read upon reviews from other people, other friends, so that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. But in terms of rounding out this video, I hope you've enjoyed it, and as I said, I do want to hear your comments. Like I said, I'm not going to comment any spoilers. Please don't comment any spoilers. Save it till the spoiler review. We'll announce them on social media when we're going to go live. Probably be Sunday or maybe Saturday. But you can find out on linktree.com/cinemasavvy. That'll put you through to our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Letterboxd. But that is going to do it for today. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to join us on the next one. Take care.